Super Draco here, and we're back for part 2 of the LEGO Creator 3-in-1 Shark. This time it'll be the anglerfish. So, for those not familiar with the Creator series, which I'm not big into the Creator series. Like you said, this one my mother gave me just for the heck of it because she found it on clearance. But they do these packs where they have multiple builds and multiple sets of instructions. And so, yeah. Now, the only thing I take issue with the Creator series is that as you go from build to build, they progressively use less pieces than the last one. And honestly, that's probably a nitpick on my end because the amount of work that goes into engineering 3 entirely separate models from this one set is probably something I can't really fathom. But at the same time, as the consumer, I can be a little disappointed that that's all we get. So, starting out, first up in this build, we have this little fish. I'm not sure what kind of fish it's supposed to be. I guess some kind of reef fish or something, made out of mostly the red parts from the crab. I might be wrong, but are those Mixel's eyes? I might be wrong about that, because Mixel's was at a time where I wasn't into LEGO. Because I kind of dabble in and out of LEGO. But this is just a little bit of OCD on my end. I just want these eyes sitting a specific way. So then we'll attach that as the fin, and that's basically the fish, minus its tail done. And there's the fish done. So it's silly, but it's one of the things I enjoy is, LEGO has a lot of distinct minifigures and models of specific stuff, but I get a kick out of brick building some of it. So now we move on to the main event, the anglerfish. And this, I think, is really the best build in the whole kit. Is while the shark was functional and stable, this one, I think, it does the most interesting stuff with shaping. Because anglerfish are unique and worth to say diplomatically. Because in all honesty, anglerfish are weird and ugly looking. But then again, if you lived in the dark part of the ocean where there wasn't a lot of visible light, why do you need to be pretty? And I'll tell you a weird but fascinating thing about anglerfish. Male and female anglerfish, when they mate, the male literally attaches himself to the female, and basically over time her body absorbs the male until literally it just becomes a set of male gonads for her to reproduce at will. Which, again, in the dark ocean where there's not a lot of light, that's probably a reasonably successful strategy for mating. As for the male, it's hard to say if that's a bad fate or a good fate. Because I think you have an argument going both ways on that one. Anyway, so yeah, that's just something weird I know about anglerfish. So in the beginning, we're not doing anything world-shattering with this build. And you'll notice my parts, after taking the shark apart, I organized them a lot better. Yeah, don't get used to that. I used to be one of those OCD sort everything specifically, and then one day I just didn't, and I realized I kind of have fun finding the part instead of spending the time sorting them. That's just an oddity on my end. Like you said, everyone else's mileage may vary. So this one will be significantly shorter than the shark, almost half the length. So I'm going to try to talk more because on the one hand I don't like to ramble and bore you, but at the same time, I gotta check my analytics, but it seems like the videos where I ramble seem to do a little better. Which, is that because you're getting a view into absolute insanity, or I'm just saying insightful stuff? Not sure. I'm going to lean on the insanity, but I mean, I work night shift, and I find that most of us that work night shift are kinda off. And so, now we're doing some snot construction, studs not on top construction with the side pieces, and I really think this helps build out the shaping of it. But we can ramble about this as we go. If I see something interesting, we'll talk about it. Otherwise, I reckon we'll just go on to other subjects. So, hope everyone's doing well. You know, we hit well, actually, you know what? We did the big channel update before. Let's do the analytics and the shout-outs while I'm here. So officially, we now have 108 subscribers on this channel. Like I said in the channel update, we will eventually do contests. So just let me climb out of this financial hole. So beyond that, you know, the Lego video came out, got 11 views. So, you know, that's pretty good considering how long I've been AWOL. So we're doing good, so let's see here. So we'll go over to the dashboard. Let's check the build. We're just doing some more shaping after layering a bunch of white plates, so let's go over here. Alright, so my page says we don't have any public subscribers. And I've got nothing listed on my mobile app either, so we'll go with it. So, you know, I always shout out the new subscribers. So, you know, if you're a public subscriber and you haven't got a shout out from me in a video, just leave a comment or contact me and I'll give you that shout out. Like I said, I shout out everybody that I can see on my public list. So when I was building this, I was wondered why we put these teeth pieces where they did, and looking at it now, I wonder if those are supposed to be its gills. Which is a good use of parts if it is. So moving on from that, so what have I been doing besides working? Well, I play games, you know, no surprise, somebody who does YouTube plays video games. But in particular, I have an Xbox, a PlayStation, and a Switch. My Switch I mainly do retro games on, but I did a big bit of that for a while, but then I have Game Pass on the Xbox, so I sunk a bunch of hours into Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That is a very fun game if you can find a decent team in either direction, which is very difficult because most people don't want to communicate, and even I'm guilty of that sometimes. But then, you know, which I'll tell you a funny story. I did not know I was a member of Microsoft's Xbox Rewards I have no idea. So I got a notification from them that I had points, and so I went and looked. I had 50,000 points. So I was able to cash that in for a $50 gift certificate and ended up buying Armored Core 6. Which probably comes as no surprise to anyone here who's seen my Transformer videos, my Gundam videos, and that I just love robots and whatnot. If you're not familiar with it, Armored Core is a game series by the From Software, the guys behind Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Elden Ring, where you build your own mecha and have to complete missions with it. And the charm of the game comes in that you have options for everything. You can build ultra heavy mechs with tank tread legs, or you can build super fast mechs with really high jumping or hovering legs. However, you can approach the situation, because you can basically approach everything from multiple ways and make it work. In Armored Core 6, you know, it finally plays like I've always wanted them to, because the older games always played really heavy and clunky, which, operating a giant humanoid robot, it probably is going to have a certain amount of clunkiness to it. But the problem comes in that your enemies don't move in a clunky manner. They move very fast and fluid. Makes some of the missions artificially hard, which was my problem with a lot of the Armored Core games. Because I want to say it was Armored Core 4 or 3. I remember I was fighting a tank tread enemy. He, instead of legs, he had tank tracks, and despite having tank tracks, it was literally flying in the air almost non-stop. And yeah, but this one is different. And you can tell they've applied a lot of the stuff from Dark Souls, Elden Ring, and Bloodborne to the game. And it feels really good. It's fast-paced, it's fun. And I'm actually on playthrough number 2 now, but to actually get, the game has 3 different endings. To get all 3 endings, you actually have to fully play through it three times, because you get your first playthrough, New Game Plus, and then New Game Plus Plus. And as you go, you unlock new parts, new builds. You get new changes to missions. And so all in all, it's a really fun game. I recommend it to anyone who likes that, but you know, my taste is probably not that good in games. But anyway, so we're nearly done with the anglerfish. So we just got to start doing some details. And a detail I like is using these dish pieces. I guess they're like crystal plates or something. And we use those to become the big eyes of it. As this is a common thing you see in deep sea creatures, they'll often have big, very reflective eyes. One of the largest creatures down that we know of, the giant squid, its eyes are so big they're about the size of a volleyball, and they're the width of a serving plate, if you know what I'm talking about. Not a dinner plate, but the really big plate that you bring out food on. And so now we're just going to really quickly build his lure, or her. Might be a her. And then I think the last thing is the tail. If I had to complain, I don't like the fact that the lure's made out of so many gray pieces. But on the other hand, it's not like there was a lot available to do anything with. Having said that, the size of this is really good. And we're coming to the end. About 30 seconds of construction left. So we'll snap the tail on, and there we go. An interesting build, interesting approach to shaping, and a very good representation of a very disturbing undersea creature. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me ramble, and I'll see you next as an Ecto 1 video, and then after that will be part 3 of the creator set.